1. A civil service employee is tasked with training new hires on ethical decision-making. Which approach best aligns with adult learning principles? A. Delivering a lecture and providing handouts. B. Encouraging interactive case studies based on real scenarios. C. Assigning memorization tasks for regulations. D. Showing a long video without discussion. 2. During a civil service judgment test simulation, a candidate is asked to handle a complaint from a citizen. What is the most effective first step? A. Dismiss the complaint to save time. B. Listen actively and acknowledge the concern. C. Refer the citizen to a different office immediately. E. Take detailed notes without engaging the citizen. 3. When evaluating a colleague's performance, which method ensures fairness and compliance with civil service standards? A. Using personal preferences as the benchmark. B. Applying standardized evaluation criteria. C. Relying solely on peer opinions. D. Ignoring weaknesses to maintain morale. 4. A supervisor is mentoring a junior employee who struggles with time management. Which mentoring technique is most effective? A. Giving the employee more tasks to push improvement. B. Sharing personal strategies and setting achievable goals. C. Criticizing mistakes publicly to enforce discipline. D. Ignoring the issue to avoid conflict. 5. In curriculum development for civil service training, which step ensures alignment with regulatory compliance? A. Basing training only on past employee feedback. B. Reviewing updated legal and policy frameworks. C. Ignoring outdated regulations since they are rarely enforced. D. Using content from private sector management courses. 6. When facilitating adult learners in a civil service seminar, what method promotes the highest retention? A. Reading regulations verbatim from a manual. B. Involving participants in role-play exercises. C. Distributing lengthy written materials only. D. Conducting multiple-choice quizzes without feedback. 7. A candidate in the civil service judgment test faces conflicting instructions from two supervisors. What is the best action? A. Choose the easier instruction to complete. B. Seek clarification to resolve the conflict. C. Ignore one supervisor entirely. D. Split tasks without informing either supervisor. 8. Which communication approach best builds trust with both colleagues and the public? A. Using vague language to avoid commitment. B. Listening empathetically and responding clearly. C. Speaking formally without addressing questions. D. Using technical jargon to show expertise. 9. In adult learning evaluation, why is formative assessment critical? A. It provides final certification of knowledge. B. It identifies learning gaps during the process. C. It eliminates the need for summative assessment. D. It reduces the need for active participation. 10. A civil servant must enforce a regulation that is unpopular with the public. Which approach demonstrates professional judgment? A. Enforce the regulation without explanation. B. Clearly explain the rationale while applying it consistently. C. Ignore the rule to maintain public favor. D. Allow personal opinions to guide enforcement. 11. What is the main purpose of the civil service judgment test? A. To test memorization of civil codes. B. To evaluate decision-making in job-relevant scenarios. C. To measure typing speed. D. To assess physical fitness. 12. A mentor notices that their mentee has not applied feedback given in previous sessions. What is the best mentoring response? A. Discontinue the mentoring sessions. B. Reiterate feedback using new examples and strategies. C. Criticize the mentee for being inattentive. D. Assign unrelated tasks to encourage independence. 13. When developing evaluation tools for civil service training, which element is essential? A. Vague, open-ended criteria. B. Measurable performance indicators. C. Only verbal feedback without documentation. D. Pure judgment without structure. 14. A civil servant must deliver negative feedback to a colleague. Which communication technique is best? A. Deliver feedback privately with constructive suggestions. B. Share the feedback in a public meeting for transparency. C. Avoid giving feedback to preserve relationships. D. Focus solely on the mistakes without guidance. 15. What distinguishes adult learners in civil service training from younger learners? A. Preference for passive learning. B. Stronger reliance on external motivation. C. Desire for practical, experience-based learning. D. Greater dependence on memorization. 16. In a civil service judgment test, how should a candidate respond to discovering a coworker violating a minor policy? A. Ignore it since the violation is small. B. Report it immediately through the appropriate channel. C. Confront the coworker aggressively. D. Wait until it becomes a major issue. 17. A civil service training program fails to meet compliance standards. What is the most effective corrective step? A. Revise curriculum based on updated legal requirements. B. Continue using the same materials to save cost. C. Rely on staff to adapt informally. D. Avoid reporting the issue. 18. A supervisor notices tension between two employees. Which judgment demonstrates effective conflict resolution? A. Ignore the conflict until it resolves naturally. B. Facilitate open dialogue between employees. C. Take sides to support one employee. D. Discipline both without hearing perspectives. 19. Why is mentoring important in civil service professional growth? It reduces the need for formal evaluations. B. It fosters skill development through guidance and experience sharing. C. It eliminates the need for curriculum development. D. It ensures strict adherence to outdated practices. 20. In evaluation methods, what is the role of self-assessment for civil service employees? A. To replace supervisor evaluation. B. To promote reflection and ownership of learning. C. To ensure objectivity without oversight. D. To avoid accountability for mistakes. 21. When conducting training, which strategy ensures adults remain engaged? A. Deliver long lectures without interaction. B. Connect new material to learners' prior experiences. C. Limit opportunities for questions. D. Avoid practical applications of the content. 22. A candidate must prioritize multiple urgent tasks. Which choice reflects sound judgment? A. Handle tasks in the order they were received, regardless of urgency. B. Evaluate tasks based on impact and deadlines. C. Choose the easiest task first. D. Postpone all tasks until clarification is received. 23. In civil service, what is the most important consideration when communicating with the public? A. Efficiency and accuracy. B. Personal opinions and preferences. Avoidance of difficult questions. D. Using complex legal terms to assert authority. 24. A trainer is developing a civil service workshop. Which method best ensures regulatory compliance? A. Using official government guidelines as a reference. B. Gathering content from online blogs. C. Asking trainees to share personal opinions only. D. Using corporate training materials. 25. In mentoring, what is the primary benefit of active listening? It allows the mentor to give faster advice. B. It builds trust and encourages open communication. C. It reduces the need for evaluation. D. It ensures compliance with regulations automatically. 26. A test taker in the civil service judgment test is asked how to respond to a colleague making an offensive remark. What is the most professional choice? A. Ignore the remark to avoid conflict. B. Address the remark respectfully and escalate if necessary. C. Laugh along to maintain harmony. D. Retaliate with a stronger remark. 27. Which evaluation method best measures long-term impact of civil service training? A. Immediate post-training quizzes. B. Follow-up assessments and performance reviews. C. Informal conversations with colleagues. D. Self-reports only. 28. In communication, why is clarity especially important in civil service roles? It reduces misinterpretations and builds public trust. B. It minimizes the need for regulatory compliance. C. It avoids the need for documentation. D. It replaces the need for active listening. 29. When designing civil service training for adults, what factor should be prioritized? A. Lengthy theoretical lectures. B. Relevance to real workplace challenges. C. Randomized content for variety. D. Strict memorization drills. 30. A civil servant faces pressure from a superior to overlook a compliance issue. What demonstrates professional judgment? A. Follow the superior's direction to avoid conflict. B. Document and report the issue as required by policy. C. Ignore the issue to maintain team harmony. D. Delay action until someone else notices.